Okay, next, please.
Okay, that's us. It's us. All right, good morning.
Morning.
Everybody be cool. Everybody be cool.
Yes, very good. Do you have anything to declare, like any fruits, any vegetables, any animals? I don't have anything to declare.
I don't have anything to declare, no.
Nolan, do you have anything to declare?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
Are you sure? Nolan! Good luck!
We got a 2319. We got a 2319.
To spring break.
To spring break and filming this video finally.
And we're back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
We are back in America after nearly 3 weeks in New Zealand.
Well, hold on. Most of us are
Oh,
back.
here we go.
Most of us made it through customs. One of us did not. Nolan was trying to sneak in baby kiwis, so he got detained.
Back here. Get back here. Who do you work for? Who's telling you to bring kiwis? That's it. Here, take the kiwi. Taking this one downtown.
No. I'm going to teach you.
Still don't know when we're gonna see it.
But seriously, it was a beautiful time in a beautiful country, wonderful people. How do you feel after 2 years of planning that trip?
Yeah, I planned this for a while. Due to COVID, we couldn't go. So yeah, there's definitely some differences for a country that supposedly speaks English. They do. But there are some good differences, some bad differences. Some that were just like unexpected.
Yeah, and full disclosure, we went as parents looking through the eyes of considering moving there
Right.
and or moving somewhere abroad to raise our children. So this was part tourism, part research.
So we're definitely going to get into all these top 10 things that we noticed between America and New Zealand.
And we're going to ask Nolan what his favorite part was.
Right.
I think we'll wait to the end for that.
We'll do that at the end.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We never used cash. We never used cash, like ever.
Wait, we did once.
Okay.
There was one time we didn't use it. It was given back to us because we were in a restaurant in Greymouth and they gave us back cash.
So after we already had paid, we realized, looking at the receipt, that they charged us for an extra meal. And so they ended up giving us $30 back in cash.
And Nolan really liked it because it was a see-through dollar bill. You could like look through it. And yeah, there's just something nice about being in a different country and playing with their money that's different because ours is very green
and boring.
Boring. So we're getting better. There's
Yeah.
like some tint to some, but yeah, for the most part, they're all very just green.
So everything was tap.
Right. That was also super convenient. We didn't have to enter in our PIN number everywhere we went. It was just tap to pay.
And you almost forget you're in another country outside of the atmosphere and culture and people.
And how beautiful
when you
it
don't
is.
have money to play with.
Right, that adds that different level of, we're in a different place because we're playing with Monopoly money. It's not real, don't think about it.
You're not spending money.
Yeah,
You're just tapping.
right. Moving on.
Cashews and pistachios everywhere.
Would you like to explain why you were so hyper vigilant about this one?
Yeah, so Nolan is anaphylactic to cashews and pistachios.
We learned this the hard way when he was, what, about
14 months.
1.5-ish?
14.
And so this day I gave him cashews, and sure enough, if he didn't well up
Like a balloon.
big, and sure enough, if we didn't spend half the day in the emergency room.
So then after the emergency visit, they sent us to Children's and we had him tested. And the hives and rash that showed up on his back with the cashews and pistachios were like a pretty extreme Allergy.
So we become hyper vigilant about that because we don't want to end up in the emergency room overseas.
Although the insurance would probably be better.
We'd probably pay less.
Yeah, in all seriousness, we had to do a lot of research. Like, we chose our restaurants based on the menus to ensure there was less or no cross-contamination. And I do remember one restaurant where we realized after the fact they had pistachios on the menu, and he had a rash. It just happened to be from detergent.
The laundry detergent.
And so it was our wedding anniversary, and we were like all nervous about Nolan, but that was laundry detergent.
But it's also in coffee shops, in their
Pastries.
patisseries, in their ice cream.
Salads.
So it was just more
Main dishes everywhere.
there than I think we're noticing it here in the United States.
Yeah.
And it was nice that the servers would even ask. They're like, is this an allergy or is this a preference? Because you being gluten-free,
Yeah.
you would also say, can't have cashews, pistachios, can't have gluten.
There were so many options for gluten-free, and it was really well advertised on all the menus.
Yeah.
And so that was just a preference on my part, but Nolan's was definitely far more important.
Yeah. Moving on.
No refill on soda.
Okay, we have to talk about this. There are no refills on sodas or any other drinks, and you get it with no ice.
This mattered more to you than to me because I don't drink soda.
You rarely drink soda.
I mean, I would take like a nice iced tea.
Or a ginger ale.
Yeah.
Yeah. But very few places in the world can you go, other than the United States, and go get a large soda for like just over $1. I'm gonna go get one.
Oh my God. All right, we're
I know.
in the middle of this.
I know. Hold on. I'm just gonna go get one real quick.
It's gonna be a minute.
Good afternoon and welcome to McDonald's. Would you like to use your rewards today?
No, I'm just gonna get a large Coke.
Anything else?
That's it.
First window, please. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. $1.60 for a large. I got it.
Are you kidding
I
me?
got it. I had to go get one. Okay, not that we try to do this very often because we are cutting back on soda, or at least I am. But it's nice that you can go to a location and you can get a full thing of iced Coca-Cola and you don't have to ask for a refill because you can get refills right there. And you have plastic straws. You don't have the paper straws that New Zealand has that just dissolve. They give up on you halfway through their drink.
You sound like such an American. We are environmentally friendly and environmentally conscious, but we do keep our plastic straws with us at all time here in America. We should have packed them.
We should have packed
Too
them.
many things to think about with a toddler.
Right. But also, my job as a flight attendant is to give people an ice cold Coke Zero with a smile and with a refill. And just knowing that that server wasn't coming back, or that it was more expensive too if you wanted to ask for a second one, that was just something that I had to realize and that I had to get over.
You're gonna be okay.
I'll be okay. I'll just drink this for a moment. We'll save this for later.
Oh my gosh.
Moving on.
Going to parks.
New Zealand, I gotta tell you, you have some incredible parks. Playgrounds and parks. From the Carrot Park to just little places at cafes. And anywhere you go, a mix of old and new, it made exploring parks really fun.
It was really nice to see Nolan enjoy so many types of parks and gain self-confidence through that experience. He began to think there was a park everywhere.
He asked us when we got on the airplane, is there a playground?
There was even a playground on the boat.
On the ferry crossing across, there was a playground on the second deck. And so he just got into this mindset that around any corner, there would be a new playground.
We went to this one playground in Fox Glacier that was at a school, and we had asked at dinner, are there any playgrounds in the area? Because Nolan was very accustomed at that point to going to a playground daily.
Right.
And they said, yeah, there's a school a block from here. You can go into the school and use the playground. And we were like,
After hours, it's just open to
that's
anybody.
allowed?
So that's not something here in the United States. You would be
Yeah.
told, you're trespassing, we will call the police, you need to leave. But that just wasn't a mindset in New Zealand, which was very different for us. Because I also think here in the US, we really shelter our kids with very safe plastic
Yeah.
playgrounds. It's all just been reduced to just
Slides.
and stairs. And there really isn't, like these kind of old rickety tree houses and
And
stuff.
that elementary school, it was very much like a wooden playground. And I even said,
gonna get
this would not be approved in America.
It's gonna get a splinter.
He might fall.
But Nolan really loved it.
Yeah.
I really loved it up until I got splashed with freezing cold water from a tire in Fox Glacier.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Didn't smell weed. Speaking of parks, we did not smell marijuana at any park we went to.
We did not. We did not smell any weed, cannabis, reefer, the big sticky. Marijuana is legal here in Colorado.
It's been legal since 2014, but there are some regulations around use outdoors and in public spaces.
Here they are. But suffice to say, no matter where you go, if you're going to go to a concert out at Red Rocks, or if you go down to 16th Street Mall downtown, or even if you go to your local Costco, you're probably going to smell somebody smoking marijuana publicly. So, yeah.
It was maybe the first thing we smelled when we came home at the airport.
As soon as we walked through those open doors into the Mile High City.
We didn't quite realize the stereotype until we came back from another country that it is legal in,
You can get marijuana in New Zealand if you're 21.
but we never smelled it.
Yeah, so it was refreshing to smell the fresh air and not smell somebody smoking cannabis. So, not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just interesting when you go to different public places. You're like, oh, somebody is smoking that.
It's just a smell you come accustomed to here.
It's like a skunk. It's not a nice smell, but it's just something that you notice.
No hate.
Moving on.
Signage telling you to stay cautious.
So this one's interesting because when we were on the airplane from Los Angeles to Auckland, I went to the back and I spoke with the flight attendant who is in charge of our section.
Because you're a flight attendant.
Right. It's what I do. You get up and you talk to other flight attendants. She told me that she used to be a police dispatcher, which I thought was pretty cool. And during COVID, she got laid off, like a lot of people on COVID did. She went back to being a police dispatcher, which kind of led to a different conversation.
Mm-hmm. And she impressed upon us the need to stay cautious as someone who had taken hundreds of distress calls, specifically, unfortunately, mostly from tourists.
Right. She said you're going to see signs that say keep to the left because we drive on the right. Mm-hmm. And also that if you're sleepy, pull over, or to switch partners. And we saw this in Ireland too, where we were talking with some locals and he's like, oh, there were just 4 Yanks last week that got in a car accident because
Trying
they
to turn
were
left.
turning the right way.
But we didn't see the amazing signs in Ireland. The signs were really well done in New Zealand.
They were humorous. They were funny.
Yeah, they had you talking about it to try to keep you cautious.
Right. I also apologize for my Irish accent. But going to the next place that is amazing, like a glacier or a rock formation, you do have this need or feeling, oh, I got to keep going. I have to get there tonight. Mm-hmm. And that's not necessarily true.
Right. So be open to switching up your itinerary. Be open to staying in a different place than you intended. Switch drivers. Let your partner sleep while you are driving. And do what you can to stay safe.
Yeah, that is something that we did not do.
Switch drivers.
Right. Mostly because I don't trust Katie's driving.
Or because I didn't want to drive David.
Right. Moving on.
Toys to play with everywhere.
Okay, guys. We did not know about this New Zealand phenomenon that is called toys everywhere.
Yeah, keeping little ones entertained in stores or restaurants in America often means giving them your phone or an iPad.
I see this all the time on the airplane. People will just give their child an iPad or a phone, which is okay if you're going to be going on a huge trip for hours on end. But we really try to limit Nolan's screen time if it's just going out to dinner.
Yeah, we're pretty intentional on that, and we often have to bring our own toys to the restaurants and whatnot, and that's kind of the American culture. But Nolan finding a toy box or a book box at every different store or restaurant, oh my gosh, he was besides himself, and he kept asking, can we go back to the restaurant with the toys?
Mommy, I want to go back.
And I would say, no, that was in the other city, bud.
Yep, we're moving on to a different town. So we saw it at Airbnbs. We saw it at restaurants, like you mentioned. We saw it at little boutique stores.
Everywhere.
Even Pick's Peanut Butter Factory, like a huge peanut butter factory, had this whole toy section, this play area set off to the side for Nolan just to play with toys.
And for you to play.
And well, I found an Iron Man. Like, how are you not going to play with Iron Man?
Moving on.
Moving on.
Lack of coffee in New Zealand.
Okay, we have saved the worst for last. We need to talk about your lack of accessible, like, drip coffee in New Zealand.
So this was more of a you problem than a me problem, because I was super content with just one flat white a day.
I enjoyed the flat whites. I even tried the drip coffee, the instant coffee that they had in the rooms. I heated up the water bottles. I even took the fresh cream in a glass that they gave us at reception. I thought, oh, this is very
different.
high class, right?
New Zealand.
It was horrible. I couldn't do it. I even tried the tea. We tried to drink tea.
I love tea.
I hate tea. And I've tried every tea. You're like, well, David, you probably just haven't tried enough tea. I've tried green tea, hibiscus, blueberry, boysenberry, Earl Grey, berries. I hate tea.
So let's just say when David found a Starbucks in Queenstown, he was besides himself.
That sweet elixir of life.
I was a happy camper. We went to that Starbucks twice in one day.
It's okay, honey.
It was dark times. We have a very specific way of doing it here in the Ronco household. We grind our beans in the morning, and then we have our drip coffee, and we can keep it hot all day, or we pour it over ice, and we have flavored creamers. We go to the store and get pumpkin spice, French vanilla, hazelnut, Irish cream.
And you even mentioned as we were leaving for New Zealand that you would miss your creamers.
And I did. We're happy that we have our coffee back. Cheers. But we cannot end on a sour note. We have one more for you.
Moving on.
I think that would win.
It's a happy path.
How nice the people were.
That's why you're the sous chef.
We cannot end this list on a negative, and so we really want to add a bonus here about how friendly the people were.
You guys are so nice. Like, so kind.
Yeah, in our first video, we talked a lot about how we were looking forward to meeting locals and talking to them about the country and the culture and whatnot.
We met up with a lot of different people while we were there. We met up with fellow YouTubers, like Your New Zealand Family, who hosted a Thanksgiving dinner for us.
It was beyond incredible.
That was so nice. We met up with Tara from Kiwi American's YouTube channel at the Teopapu Museum in Wellington. And she shared with us her experience on moving from the Midwest to New Zealand with her whole family.
Twice.
She's done it twice.
Yeah.
I met up with Matt and Sam at the Wellington International Airport. It was just all these people that took time out of their busy schedules to meet up with us and just share their country with us.
Yeah, and at the Tongariro National Park, our gas attendant even came around the counter and helped us pick out chocolate for my dad.
Yeah, there's a whole wall of chocolate and we didn't know which one to pick, and she came and helped us. There's just constantly people that are going out of their way to help us and make us feel welcome and included, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
From restaurant servers to hotel staff, tour guides, even people that we met in parks or on the bus, nobody was rude or mean or had a bad attitude. It was really refreshing.
Yeah, it was really wonderful to see. You know, it could be because we're just a friendly bunch.
We are a very friendly bunch. And it's hard to get mad at a face like this.
Is it?
All right, so there you have it. That is our top 10 list of all the things that we thought were differences between the United States and New Zealand. And before we tell you whether or not we have decided to move to this country, we are going to ask Nolan what his favorite part of the vacation was.
I'm looking forward to that.
All right, here we go. Mr. Teddy has a question for you.
What?
What was your favorite part of vacation in New Zealand?
Stepping on the bed.
What? You come back here and tell me that.
Stepping on the bed.
Jumping on the bed?
Uh-huh.
You're a jumping on the bed monster.
A bunk bed.
A bunk bed. Oh no. One last bed to jump on. Jump.
So are we moving?
That is the ultimate question, right? It is something that Katie and I have discussed for a number of years, seeing as the United States, its schools, its grocery stores, its movie theaters, its churches. It's not as safe as it used to be as when we grew up as kids. So it's a big topic of conversation.
But ultimately, it's really difficult to consider leaving our network and our community, our family, our friends, our church, everyone we've developed a relationship with here in the US. You know, I think regardless, they would understand if it's for safety and for our kids.
Right. They would get it. There's two sides to the coin that we see. Number one is that New Zealand has this amazing island culture, this welcoming Kiwi culture, and that safety benchmark is
So high.
So high. But at the same time, if I left my current employment, as I was talking to flight attendants and people in airport operations or just around the airport, I would be losing about 50 to 60% of my current salary at my current company.
Yeah, which you've worked so hard to build over the last 10
yeah.
years. And on the other side is staying here in America, where we would need to manage and deal with the safety risk and the just political climate that is continually divided. But there's far more financial stimulus and growth. And we had so many New Zealanders telling us they wanted to move to Australia because they kept saying there was more career opportunity there in more industries than in New Zealand.
Right. So our decision is we're going to stay here. A little anticlimactic, but that's our decision. In talking with Katie on our long drive, it was stressed upon us that even moving to a different location doesn't necessarily mean 100% safety.
No.
Right? You can still get in a car accident, have an ocean accident.
Yeah,
like the list of what
surfing.
ifs is 1,000 miles long. And the list of right now is incredibly short.
Yeah.
And I think we're experiencing that as some of our friends, close friends to us, are going through some health issues. And it kind of has helped us reframe our mindset a little bit.
Yeah, so we're choosing to live in the right now. As my daddy always says, tomorrow's promised to no man.
No, man.
No man. And like there's so much truth in that, right? We want to stay close to our family, our wonderful friends, our community, our church.
And even our jobs. We're pretty, happy and content with where we are in our professional careers. But with that being said, we have a lot of ideas of what we want to do with this channel moving forward as the Runk fam and taking this channel a little bit further, having that quality time to spend with your family, be that an adventure in a different country or be that something here locally. We have some pretty exciting ideas coming up.
Yeah, we think it'll be really fun to do while the kids are young. And then, maybe when they're middle school or high school, we'll try that abroad life.
Right. It's definitely something that we want to try out in the future, but maybe just not right
It's not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching our vlogs as we went through New Zealand. I know it took a long time for me to get all of them up there.
There was a lot of content.
But it's a lot of content. And again, I'm just doing this on my spare time. I'm not paying an editor. We're just doing this whenever we have a free moment from one, raising our children, and two, me being gone on my overnights. We're just really happy you guys are along for the journey. So stick around. There's definitely more to come. And we thank you so much
Thanks for sharing
watching.
it.
Have a great one.